But right now we are aware, like we have the top breakdowns of all the decks that appeared here. So Ruby Amethyst showed up on it here out of the 95 players. They were 23 players that are playing Ruby Amethyst, and we are getting ready to see Jack play one. Now, as a reminder, Jack is a sponsored player here at Southside Gaming. So what does that mean, Kylie, if somebody were able to beat Jack?
So every tournament's different, but today the owner Devin he put a bounty on our players. So if somebody beats Jack, they get a whole box of Azurite C, whole box, sealed box. So 5 players were in the tournament. They had that bounty on them. It kind of puts a little pressure on because I know as soon as somebody gets up against one of our players, they not only do they want to beat them for like the clout, but they also want to win that extra free box and just take that home. So obviously if you're a Southside member here, you're rooting for Jack.
100%, yeah.
But hopefully the guy have a good game. Me actually seeing Jack on this list is a little interesting because I play with him like every week. I play sets with him, and he's been on Emerald Amethyst.
Yeah.
So the switch to Sapphire Amethyst was actually for, he was telling me, the over influx of Ruby Amethyst players. So he's actually going into like a favored matchup right now.
Correct.
So looks like they're resolving moles here.
They are, and it's interesting because at the beginning of the format, the deck that Jack was on was actually the same one that I was on. We were both playing Emerald Amethyst, and we would what Jack is saying now about this color combination doing well into Ruby Amethyst. It's funny because we were saying the same thing going into the same matchup, and suddenly we stopped saying that. The game changed a little bit, the format changed a little bit, and it feels as though it's not necessarily the case anymore. So we are watching now as the first turn starts. We do see that Jack is inking an Elsa and playing a Chernobog, a pretty common opening turn sequence when it comes to any Amethyst deck, honestly.
Yeah. And looking at Jack's list, it's almost a mono purple deck. He has what is it, 14 blue cards.
Yeah.
So I mean it's mostly purple. So if that doesn't tell you guys kind of what color stands out as one of the most powerful colors in this game, I don't know what will.
Absolutely. And I'll let you all in the chat take a wild guess. What do you think those blue cards do? What do you think those Sapphire cards are doing in his deck? Take a wild guess, and it rhymes with lamp. All right, he is ramping like something fierce, and we're kind of seeing that as we're watching the start of the sequence here, where Jack is up to 3 ink while his opponent is sitting with 1. Casey's got 1 right now. So we're gonna see what the fair, consistent Ruby Amethyst deck is gonna do while it's got to face down that crazy inkwell manipulation from Sapphire.
Yeah, not only is he gonna ramp, but he's gonna do what Amethyst does best and continue to just draw.
Yes.
Just draw. Chernobog's gonna get you cards. Little Diablo's gonna get you cards. Magic Broom's gonna get you cards. Genie's gonna get you cards. Merlin's gonna get you cards. And as Sail the Azurite Sea is gonna get you cards.
Yeah.
And not only are some of them gonna get you cards once, but if he drops any bounce card like a Madam Mim Fox, a Madam Mim Snake, he's gonna draw again.
He is, yeah. And not just draw, yes, but what we saw in the first round with Jack's deck as well. When we go into late game, that Snake is pulling some crazy duty because now he's freezing your character with Elsa, with Hades, and then using that Snake to bring it back to keep doing that over and over and over again. And as we mentioned, Jack is still undefeated in this tournament. These are 2 players. They're currently fighting for control. They want to both be able to say that they will leave round 6 as undefeated players, but only one of them can do it. To your point, Kylie, Casey has a little bit of extra incentive to knock Jack out, and to not knock him out of the tournament per se, but to get a win under his belt and to put a loss in Jack's column.
And gain himself a whole new booster box. See why he does it.
Yeah, and Kylie is saying that he's willing to bless the boxes. He's not guaranteeing any enchantments. Don't get crazy here. But Kylie, if you let Kylie bless the pools, you got a higher shot at getting enchanteds from those boxes.
100%. we pull Elsa's in here. Please.
Yeah, only Elsa's in the chat.
Only Elsa's.
Only Elsa's.
So it's looking like pretty typical back and forth here. Genie.
Yeah,
Sisu.
Absolutely. With Sisu without a Flynn is kind of sad. They look like 2 friends that belong together, and yet Sisu's out here doing Sisu things. We got Genie that's out, and then we are watching Jack take his turn as he considers how do we approach this fair, consistent matchup. And Jack says, "Hey, you know what? I like what you did there.
Yeah.
Let's play Genie too.
Genie to Genie.
You say you got Genie, I got Genie, but let's see." Now, traditionally, we've seen some variations of Ruby Amethyst. Some variations include Crab. Some don't. We may see Crab. We want to hold a little bit of surprise for you just in case. So there might be a Crab in this list. There might not be in the Ruby Amethyst deck. But we have seen some builds recently that kind of exclude them.
Okay, exclude Crab. I feel like some lists think it's a little too slow.
Yeah.
They're just gonna wait to blow the board with this big Sisu or the big prep, and they'd rather just build better bodies and just kind of quest up instead of just trying to crab and use combat tricks.
And some argue that maybe Maui Hero to All is really a better answer than a multiple card sequence that gets you about the same thing as a Maui.
Yeah.
So that's a factor too. But we're seeing some favorable action here. We're not seeing a whole. Okay, so we see an attack on the Genie, a bell dropped from Jack's hand, which gives the damage, effectively making his Genie damage free, and takes out his opponent Casey's Genie.
Yeah. So he's up in ink right now. He has a bigger board presence. But it's not to say that Casey can't come back from this, because once Casey gets at that over that hump of 7 ink, his removal just starts going.
It does. Now we also know that these characters, some not all of them, but many of the characters in the Amethyst toolkit are 2 or less. They have 2 strength or less. So there may be even an opportunity to use a Sisu in a very effective way. Not necessarily a board wipe, but definitely to put Casey in a good spot as well. All right, so we're seeing some, in terms of lore count, we're very close, 5-4. In terms of board state, Jack is ahead by 2 characters. In terms of the number of cards in hand, I'm looking at 3 cards. I do see the big Elsa. I see a rabbit in Jack's hand, so Jack has the ability to continue growing his hand size. I see Elsa, Hades, and Rabbit. Those are the 3 cards in Jack's hand.
Yeah, so he's got removal. He's got, his bomb.
He does.
He just... Really, the best thing for him to see off the top deck is probably going to be the Elsa Spirit of Winter. The 5th Spirit, sorry. The 5th Spirit.
Yeah, the 5th Spirit, yeah.
So that he can shift
correct
into Spirit of Winter.
Absolutely. Or even in this case, maybe, get some of that bounce to be able to repeat that sequence.
Repeat his Genie draw.
Yeah.
Move Bell, move damage again. So really, any card off the top is really live for him.
It is, yeah. It certainly can be. And that's one of the beautiful things about playing with the Amethyst Sapphire deck, is that there can be some bad top decks depending on the card, but it's not as many as other deck combinations may have, and you can use a snake later to win you a game.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a Friends, which I wonder if he's gonna opt to sing.
Yes.
So okay, he opts to hard cast it.
Yes.
So I don't know if he wants to protect the bell.
Yes, it looks that way for sure. No. Okay, so he's turning cards sideways.
He's going for Lord here.
Yeah, I think so. Jack, it seems the sense that I'm getting is that Jack is feeling as though he's got a pretty good control of the board. I don't know. I don't think I disagree with him, given what he's got in his hand.
Yeah, his hand. Yeah, especially because I believe next turn he can just hard slam the Elsa even if he wants to keep whatever's tapped down.
Yes.
Keep the Crab and the Genie down, and then really just kind of run away with the game unless we see a B prep from Casey. Casey is moving into his 7 ink turn.
Correct. Yeah. So now is going to be the time for Casey to figure this out. If Casey has a solution, I'm looking at Casey's hand. I do see what appears to be a goat. I believe that's the front of his hand. He is kind of protecting his hand a little bit to see. So so inking the goat, and ripping the B prep right from hand in order to say, hey.
But Jack's gonna get 2 cards off that.
Jack will get 2 cards, so Jack will have more gas to continue this game. We have an equal board state. We're not that far off in lore count, but Jack is now up 2 more cards than he started this turn with.
And he's still rampant.
And he is not letting go on the ability. Yep. Oh, and his opponent is reviewing the card to confirm what it does. But yeah, ultimately, Jack is going to keep ramping. He's going to continue to create a problem by putting more lore on the board to tap sideways. to win this game.
Yeah, yeah. Two decent bodies that both can lure for two.
Yeah. And what we see here is an enchanted Lady of the Chair, Lady Tremaine. And so Jack got to choose which of the characters go away. He opted to keep the genie, but that's because Jack knows what he's got in his hand. Jack knows that he's still Jack feels as though he has a longer game ahead of him. He wants to see more of his deck. He wants to get to more answers. And so what we're seeing here is the decision. There it is. Even though it's not as valuable, it'd be more valuable to use it on two characters. There is still value in being able to turn that Lady Tremaine sideways and to start applying pressure to the board.
Keep it tapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now he's questing for
five. Correct. Yeah, he's on a 2 clock timer. He's put Casey on a 2 clock timer. So what do you do at this point? And looking at Casey's hand, I don't know if it's a lot right now. What we see is a brawl, so the brawl will handle the genie, making that timer a little less scary.
Elsa's Spirit of Winter. That card is set 1. She was a prominent menace. And it's almost like she's coming back, especially with that 5th Spirit being such a good card.
Absolutely. 5th Spirit really reinvigorated that card. It made that card... It went from being a great card to, I would say, Hall of Fame, like upper echelon.
Oof,
arguably one of the best cards in the game.
Goes to 13, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Goes to 13, keeps the Tremaine and the Crab tapped down.
And so Jack has opted to bounce it, yes, to keep it safe, to keep the control of the board. So there's a number of plays that could happen here, and Casey's looking out for these things. Jack could have tapped those two characters later on to try to get to 16, or to try to get to 19, potentially play a goat, potentially play something to gain some lore, but it's clear that we want more control of the board. Absolutely. And Casey says, I got another Lady of the Chair. Lady Tremaine, eat your heart out, take that character.
Yeah.
And of course, Jack has decided to keep Elsa's Spirit of Winter on that board because that card does not go away. Amethyst lets that card come back many times. But Jack also understands the value of this game because, Kylie, how do you win this game? What do you have to do to win this game?
20 lore.
20 lore, baby. 20 lore. That's the answer. So you got to get to 20.
Interesting play he could have done too, depending on what's in his hand.
Yes.
He could have shifted the Elsa on the Elsa.
He could have.
Keep them tapped, to keep two things tapped.
Yes.
Instead of hard playing. But he opted for the same play.
He did. And it's clear what he wants to do is to just force the situation.
Keep tapping.
To be able to... Exactly. That's exactly it.
So...
All right, yeah. So we're seeing some thoughts happening now.
It's Casey's essentially kind of locked up right now.
He is. Yeah, this is a tough spot for him.
Jack presents lethal, and he knows there's another Elsa in hand. He has no idea what else is going on in there.
Casey accepts his fate. We go to game 2. Now, Casey's going to get a chance to be on the play now. So Casey's going to go first. So Kylie, if you were playing this deck, if you were playing Ruby Amethyst, you know now what Jack has. You've played the deck. What in the world are you mulliganing for? What are you looking for? Yeah, what are you trying what are you hoping to get on turn 1? What do you want to see from this? It feels like this is a very consistent deck. So what could possibly deal with what's going on here?
I'd probably want to have a lower curve, and I'd value the crab into I'd value crabbing the genies.
Yeah.
To take out his genies.
Absolutely.
His Elsas.
Yeah.
Because you have to get him off the board before you can bounce him.
Correct. Yeah.
You have to, and especially that Elsa. If he didn't see Jack didn't see the 5th Spirit, but if Jack sees a 5th Spirit and we can crab a genie, and just take that out.
Yeah.
That could potentially put Jack back a little bit.
It can. You're right.
We need a little bit of aggression while he's ramping, and then that crab just to kind of clear up that board, because the only interaction he's going to have is genies and Elsas with all those evasive characters.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Yeah, and it's going to be tough. We think about what we've seen from Jack's list already. We know that the characters at the top end of the willpower, you're thinking about Elsa. She's got 6 willpower. You're thinking about Hades, 6 willpower. You've got the fifth spirit also 5 willpower. So all these characters are really creating awkward numbers for any potential damage to deal with. We think about the other side of it because really the strength of Ruby Amethyst is its ability to control characters based on their strength. So when you think about what we're looking for, what can we brawl? What can we throw the emboldened sibling Sisu down on to control? And there's not a whole lot, especially as we get towards the later game. You think about Elsa, who's got 4 strength. You think about Hades with 3, which Medusa can certainly handle that, but Sisu can't. So there's a number of weird interactions that Casey's thinking about when he's considering this option.
Yeah, the Sapphire Amethyst deck, it definitely puts Ruby Amethyst in a very weird spot with the removal.
Yeah.
Because they don't have Ice Block
Correct.
to fall back on that helps the Medusa and the Sisu kind of take it to the next level. So you're right. Like there's a lot of thinking about the lines, and we saw Jack too last time. He thought like about that lockup play that he did where he kept looping the snake into the Elsa.
Yeah.
He took the turn where his board was wiped and he drew those extra cards.
Correct.
To ramp and build up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he knew that's what he was going to do on the next turn. And sometimes you do have to play like that where you're kind of like, you're going to eat it for a turn.
Yeah.
And, maybe play a little slower just to get a little established. So, but we do see a faster start here from Casey. He does have the Moana, the 3-2.
Yeah.
That it can't challenge unless there's a captain.
Yeah, but we know what's happening here. We know what he's looking for. And what he's hoping to play on turn 2 is a little card known as Flynn Rider.
Yep.
Looking to start taking advantage of that 3 lore generation every turn. And while Moana can't start questing until we have a captain, can't challenge without a captain in play. That's not what she's there for.
Nope. Yep. She's there to put pressure so that you really have to remove her, and I mean wasting removal on a 1-drop like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel the best, but
it doesn't. You're right, and in a way, like by turning that character sideways, telling Jack, hey, go ahead and either do something about it if you want to waste that magic broom, which certainly you don't want to. That is an opportunity for Jack to draw. So Jack is, and even then, Jack has opted not to draw with it. Jack is saying, no, I want to get lore with this thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not done using it, and you're not going to force me to do anything I don't want to do. And so as we see, they're currently tied at 1 lore each.
What he's thinking, Inks of Brawl. Okay, so he plays the crab.
Yeah. Now this is interesting. Generally, crab, we want to see it to create a math situation that works out for us against the body. The inverse is true too. If you can put it down, perhaps you have a different scenario that you want to figure out. Maybe you've got a turn 4, or maybe you're setting up for like an Elsa later on that you want to kind of feed the crab into something bigger to then boost up the Elsa. So there's some reasons why you may play the crab before you kind of reveal your hand, or like you're revealing your hand, right, by playing the crab. There may be a reason to do that. Now, I would argue there's not a lot of those reasons, but there are reasons to do it.
I feel like Casey probably feels safe.
Maybe
that hey, I don't have to say it's not gonna die anytime soon.
Yeah.
The fear of it dying kind of comes up next turn.
Sure.
If we get an Elsa Spirit of Winter, if he doesn't quest with it.
Correct.
Then, Elsa or Fifth Spirit. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always mixing up the Elsa.
It's okay. Elsa, it's fine. We know what you mean.
She comes in here. She taps, or he tapped it himself. So we may see a crab trade here.
Yeah.
Which may be a smart play from Jack because like I was saying before the game, I think the crab for Ruby Amethyst is really what helps him in this matchup be able to get better trades.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't feel so bad when you're swinging your cards into Jack's cards.
For sure, yeah, and we're seeing the genie come down as well. This is a very common 4-cost drop for anybody playing Amethyst. Very popular card, came out during Azurite Sea. It is without a doubt meta defining, that genie. And so we think about how this game is going to continue, and it's slower than what Jack was doing before. It feels that Jack is kind of on a slower pace right now.
No, 100%. But you see right there. So
yeah.
So Casey lost a crab.
He did.
And Jack did not lose a crab.
He did not. That's correct.
So there's 2 crabs on board for Jack that he can start looping.
Yes.
Casey only has 1 more crab left in the deck. And this is not probably a spot that Casey really wants to be in right now.
Yes.
Just because, when we start the genie on genie action and the else's, you know, that unless you get that bell out to kind of move that damage around,
Yeah.
it's either bell or crab that's going to make those trades worthwhile for you, or they're just going to start pecking at the board.
Absolutely, yeah, and we're getting, so people are questioning in the chat. They were curious. So just to clarify, there are 95 players that entered this tournament today. So I do see that in the chat. Thank you again for those of you that are in there watching the games, spending time with us here over in Southside Gaming. While you are not in Margate, we have you in our hearts, and we thank you for being involved. But yeah, there was 95 players that started this tournament. Some of those players have decided to end their run, but what's really cool is here at Southside, they were able to jump into box tournaments, and they were able to do 8-man pods, so the fun continues. It honestly has like a big game feel, like a DLC feel here right now. Just so many people out there having a good time, enjoying it. So yeah, there was 95 people. Now as we see what's going on the board, we see Maui, a shiny fancy Maui at that. We see Genie, and Jack is deciding, okay, well, what is my place here? What do I do? How do I make sure that I don't lose any tempo? How do I collect some of the tempo that Casey got, because Casey got to start the game?
Yeah, and he hasn't ramped as much this game as he did in the first game. Like, he just got the Donald Duck out.
Yes.
So it kind of slowed him up a little bit.
It did.
In order to do a hard cast Elsa with a snake, you need 10 ink on board, and he's currently sitting at 6. So he's 4 ink away from trying to do that same lockdown combo that he did last game.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a very, very good point. All right, we're seeing a goat come down. So goat is down now. A quest and a Flynn. So the goat, not only does it give, not only does the goat give Casey that lore, it also is currently the largest strength on a character, so to speak. And now Flynn is live at this point.
Flynn's live, and you'll see at this state in the tournament, these guys they've been playing this game for a long time, since it's come out, honestly, and they know these things. You're not gonna put a Flynn down this late in the game, unless you're also placing a body down that says, hey, my Flynn's gonna go off unless you deal with this body. Yeah. And that's exactly what Jack did. He plays the Hades.
Yep.
He gets rid of the.
He then let it go on the goat as well.
Yeah. So he just removed both things. He actually left the Flynn rider on board, saying, hey, that's the least problematic card.
Yeah. Jack just told Casey that's cute. Mm-hmm. And so we'll see where we go from there. Casey goes, you want to see what's cute? I got 2 genies for you, brother. Yeah. And so those are coming down.
And so with nothing evasive on Jack's side of the board, these genies can start really ticking it up.
They can.
Luckily Hades is and Donald are 1 willpower.
Yeah.
Above the genie. So Flynn Rider's not online right now.
Yes.
But he has 1 card in hand.
He does, and it looks like I believe what I saw was a genie. Yep, it's a genie. So it's a genie.
So he's gonna draw, but he burned his removal.
He did.
And now maybe he could have left the goat.
He could, yeah. Was it worth it? Right. The question is, did he get enough value from that, or did he put himself in a really tight spot by overexerting himself? And I guess we're gonna find out. I guess it depends on. Okay, so he sees some more removal in a Hades. He does have draw with Genie, but he has to decide which of the 2 does he want to do, because he doesn't have enough to do both. So is he going to continue to run sideways with his characters, try to reduce his opponents, or does he want to draw? And he says, I want to draw.
I want to draw, yeah. No, yeah, he definitely needs to just start gassing the hand back up. It looks like he got a rabbit.
Is that yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well.
Okay, so he takes he puts his bird into the Flynn just to draw another card.
Yep.
So he's definitely digging here.
Oh yeah, and he
takes out the Flynn.
Yeah, Jack is doing some board management here. Jack is making sure to say, hey, I want to, without the ability to do a board wipe, there aren't very many cards that just eliminate characters on Sapphire Amethyst. You have to be really, really good at board management.
Yeah, 100%. And Jack's also getting to a position where his board is arguably equal to, if not a little bit better than Casey's board right now.
Yes.
Where, he can almost put down like that rabbit next turn and almost force a B prep if Casey has it. And And Casey will take out his own genies.
He will take out his own genies, and if we are able to draw ink from one of those rabbits, he can play both rabbits in the same turn, and then potentially draw 2 more when the be prepared hits the table. So giving him additional fuel to keep this game going for himself.
So we do see the genie. So we do see a turnaround. So this is a big back and forth here.
Yeah.
Okay, and there we go. So there we go. Like we said, at this point in the game, you'll see, you're not playing a Flynn unless you're playing something that's going to proc that Flynn in there. We have the Sisu.
Correct.
So now Jack is actually going to be punished for drawing more cards because it's going to put this Sisu at a point where it's just too big.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
And the Hades comes
down. The Hades coming down right now. Yeah. Which now we saw this board state before. We saw, Jack was able to reduce a board state, bring what was about 2 or 3 characters just down to a Flynn. That Flynn has survived. Like that Flynn is not going away, Kylie.
Oh, and we actually see the counter element. So Jack's getting a taste of his own medicine now. All right, so
Jackie boy.
So and this is a one of coming from Casey. So I love my boy Jack. He's on the team and all, but sometimes a taste of your own medicine is what you need to really understand how it feels to put an Elsa down. On
yes.
somebody.
I want to know. I cannot wait to ask Jack what he felt when he saw that.
When he saw that Elsa come down, like and it is a one of. So
it is.
Chad, it is a one of.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting to see. I think. Jack is making some decisions, saying, "All right, you know what? I'm gonna draw what I can draw. I'm gonna get to a board state that forces something to be done." Yeah, we're seeing the chat is saying, "Flip the table, Jack."
Yeah, flip it, baby.
Oh goodness gracious! Don't do that, please. We don't need the liability here. But if you were, we wouldn't be that mad at you. Kylie says it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I say it's fine, but Stefan's equipment's over there, so it might not be so good.
Let's not do that to the production team, please. Oh my goodness.
But you see that last turn, Jack kind of took that turn we were talking about, where he kind of takes the time to stabilize.
Yeah.
He plays 2 rabbits. He's gonna draw 2 cards. Next turn, if he wants to continue drawing, he can swing into the Maui. He can swing into the Elsa.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not gonna clear them, but he's gonna get to draw 2 more cards. And that's really going to help him because he's, at this point, he needs to dig for answers. He's got 2 Hades down and I believe 1 Let It Go.
That's what A
few more Let It Goes in the deck and 1 more Hades. And aside from that, Crab and Madam M. Fox are really going to be his last removal pieces.
Yeah. To
try to clear this board up that, is so close to victory right now.
It is, yeah, and we're looking at 17 on the board with way more than necessary. We've got more than a check. We'd argue a checkmate at this point from Casey's side. So Jack needs to figure out, okay, well, what am I going to do?
And he does, So he takes in and he draws a card.
And Jack is hoping to draw an answer. He's hoping to see something that might lock the game in the opposite direction. We're looking at he's got enough ink to potentially play his own Elsa if he can get that, to see if that can help control the game as well. However, I don't see a Spirit of Winter.
No, he has 1 more. He can run the rabbit.
Oh, I guess he's deciding he wants to draw from another rabbit play.
He's drawing off a rabbit.
He drew a Hades, but he used up his
Yeah, so I think there he was better off checking with the rabbit into the Elsa, let the rabbit die.
Correct.
Draw the Hades.
Yes.
Play the Hades, remove.
That play may have just cost Jack the game. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. All right, so we're seeing a tap of Elsa. Okay, yep, I think, yep.
He still has it.
He still has it, and Jack takes it out.
Yeah, so Jack there, he should have ran that rabbit right into the Elsa.
Yep.
Would have top deck, would have got the Hades, played down the Hades, removed the Elsa.
Yep.
Still ran into the, so the Maui's gone, so he would be able to get to 19 if my math was correct.
Yes.
But the genie would have lived.
It would have. It still would have lived, and certainly, you're looking at a deck that does run Goat. Of course, I mean, if you're playing Amethyst, you're not playing Goat. It's.
But yeah, I mean, honestly though, even at that point, 19, and a Goat, you're dead to a Goat, and then there's just so many cards. You just have to remove everything every turn, and that's really not what Sapphire Amethyst is about.
Yeah.
They have the removal when they need it.
Correct.
But it's not like a Ruby build where you just can see it and just.
It's true. I mean, I think there is certainly some level of just fighting for every out, fighting for every inch that you can as well. I think there's something to be said about like clawing to the very last point because you never know.
No, yeah.
You know, so yeah, I see what you're saying as well, and it's tough. It's certainly going to be tough, but I think that for good practice, especially if you're going to be playing at a level like a last chance qualifier or at the Continentals, you certainly want to make sure that you are thinking about every out that's waiting for you. So we are now in a state where, as a result of that, as a result of not being able to Hades the Elsa, that might have been the difference. It might not have been, but we're going to game 3 regardless.
Yeah, game 3.
And we are going to see Jack get an opportunity now on the play. Jack is going to get to go first, and we're going to see how exactly he answers these last 2 games. And if Jack is able to secure his undefeated streak, or if Casey will take the undefeated streak and a booster box of Azurite C for the bounty.
Absolutely. Here, the store right now is hoping that Jack can pull this off, save us one more box. But, Casey's been playing really well. Casey's been playing really well. So this is honestly anybody's game.
Yeah. And Kylie, no offense, I'm rooting for Casey. Okay, I want him to take the box.
You want to take the box?
I want him to take the box.
I'll bless the pool. I'll hand him the box myself. I will. You guys, chat. You'll see me walk out. You'll see me walk up there on stream. I'll put the box right there on that champion mat for him if he takes out Jack right now. Bless the pools. But
oh my goodness! Now I kind of need Casey to win. I'm gonna send those live. Casey, we got to see this. And then let him open up the first booster and there's an enchanted in there. Oh,
pack.
sick!
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be so sick.
But let's see. This deck actually, I learned the pain of this deck actually playing against you.
Okay, yeah.
When that day
That's
we
right.
playtest again.
Yes.
I mean, on the play, you were pushing me in very, very hard.
Yes.
It was hard. I was playing Amethyst Emerald.
Correct.
And Gabe was just pushing me in on the play. It was hard.
That's why I play. That's why I love that color combination so much. It applies pressure turn after turn. There's always something that you have to deal with, regardless of what it is. Even if you have to be prepared me, fine. I bet. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Be prepared me, and I'm gonna keep putting more pressure on the board. That's one of the strengths of Sapphire Amethyst, 100%. And so we're seeing a little bit of. Okay, so we're seeing a bit of a jump in that lore. Or I'm sorry, rather from the Inkwell. My apologies, from Jack, and he's got 2 characters down, both of which are. One of our favorite characters to see in Amethyst, the ones that when something happens, you draw a card, either a quest, or they get banished, or when you play a character, we're seeing Diablo and Chernobog's followers. And Casey says, you know what, let's try what I did last time. Let's see how Flynn holds up again. And so Flynn's down.
Yeah, if we see Flynn into Sisu here, and Jack's game plan is to just, draw off of all these cards, the Diablo, the Chernobyls, and Sisu's really gonna put that Flynn online if he can't find someone to deal with it. If best thing next turn is if he gets Elsa.
Yeah.
Elsa tap the Flynn, take it out. But if not, a Sisu with 5-6 cards in Jack's hand, that Sisu's gonna be one big girl.
One big girl. You're not wrong, and I love seeing that Merlin Goat hit the table so early in the game. It is a 4 strength character. It checks Flynn Rider, and I mean, quite frankly, there's a lot of things that it can deal with this early in the game. Yeah. And just when you think you've got the answers, a crab makes it 7 strength.
Yes.
So Goat now is great.
That King Arthur package when it came out, that brought me hard back into the game. I said, this is cool. This is cool. The interactions they have.
Yes. Are you a fan of the bounce? Is that what it is? Like the bouncing?
Like the bounce. Yeah,
you like bounce package?
I like the bounce package. And I'll be honest, I'm a fan of the elephant.
Okay.
I don't think she gets enough love.
Okay.
I'm a fan of the elephant. I think a couple more pieces to this bounce package, and I think elephants in play.
All right, chat. I gotta ask you in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the perfect card and 1 being not the worst card, where would you rank the elephant? Where would you rank Madam M Elephant? I want to know. I want to get a consensus. Which, by the way, Kylie, we have 150 people in the stream right now. They are hanging out with us. Luke Wonderland says 6. My 6. Man.
I'll respect him, man. He took it down with Green Steel.
Yeah.
Without Bucky.
Without Bucky. Respect on this man's name.
Respect to you, my man. Respect to you. I didn't think it could be done. But he gave it the highest rating, so
yeah, fair enough.
Above Madam Mim Dragon, okay. Oh. Solid 6. I'll take a solid 6. Look, like I said, I'm still not playing her personally, But
Okay.
I like it. I respect the elephant.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We are watching a Donald Duck on the table for Jack. Jack is ramping something fierce. You've got Casey with 4 ink right now to Jack's, what is it, 2, 4, 6 ink. So Jack is approaching he's basically 2 ink away from being able to drop a big Elsa if he wants. We see he's got Goat in hand. We see he's got Fox. He's got all kinds of solutions to problems that Casey could potentially present. So we're gonna see what we can do in that regard. Maybe one day it's better. Forbidden Mountain says, but 4's so crowded of a slot. Yeah,
you're not wrong. Especially when you have a genie you can drop.
Yeah.
You know, like, are you gonna drop genie? Are you gonna drop Merlin Goat? Or you want to drop the elephant?
Right.
Or Rabbit,
yeah.
so.
Like let's play which one, right?
Which one? So yeah, I agree. I agree. Forbidden Mountain. That's definitely a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're seeing Genie on the board. We're seeing Fox on Jack's side. Jack is up 7 lore to Casey's 1. Casey is currently rocking a Genie, Wish Fulfilled, rocking that Flynn Rider that has become such a huge part of the Ruby Amethyst package, and just kind of hoping to crack through and be able to start seeing some points, some lore, and to start generating that. All right, and we've got a treat for you. So after this game, you're going to get an opportunity to hear from Peter. So we're gonna hear from Peter Raimundo. He's gonna get a chance to do an interview with our production staff, which is really cool too. So hang tight after the game as well.
Yeah, if you guys haven't met him, he's an amazing guy, amazing artist, amazing person. You know, he's out here, he's having fun with everybody, he's taking pictures, he's drawing his heart out, and you know, it's just a great time. And again, like I said, we want to keep doing events, you know, with South Florida Lorcana Network, with artists. Southside Gaming for you guys. You know, we want to keep doing this and just, you know, make it bigger and better every time.
Absolutely, yeah. And my goodness, it couldn't be much bigger, and yet we still figure out how to make it bigger, don't we?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, we can't wait to have you here. All right, so the board state right now for Jack is just going off, okay? Going off. So we're seeing Rabbit, we're seeing Genie, we're seeing Fox, we're seeing 2 Genies, in fact. 2 Genies on both sides. And so Casey is struggling, I think. I mean, the board state tells a story of something a little bit closer to even. You've got Jack, who's operating with a healthy number of cards in hand. You've got Casey, who's got a respectable number of cards in hand as well. Certainly, the count of lore tells us that Jack is winning, but this is still a very fragile state for the game.
Absolutely. It's really gonna come down to who can maintain the most cards in hand, the most resources, and who can effectively remove these cards. You know, can we get a Crab down to make these Genie trades better?
Yeah.
Can we get a Bell down, you know, so we can do Genie swing, Genie remove the damage? Like,
bingo.
You know, can we do this? You know, and Casey did have the first double Genie swing into Genie.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know, here, you know, Jack's. Oh, and then we get the Fox into Fox. Okay, so
yeah, Fox on Fox.
So right now Casey is effectively removing the board. I think what Jack's gonna want here is probably gonna be a Bell. You know, check a Genie and then shift the damage to kill the other Genie. You know, that's probably his most ideal play. He only has 2 Bells, so does he have one? Can he find one?
We do see that he's got what appears to be 2 of the Spirit of Winter Elsas in hand as well.
His Sail the Azurite Sea if he wants to dig.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's one. My apologies. It is 1 Spirit of Winter and a Goat. Apparently, I can't tell the difference between Elsa and a Goat. Kylie.
That's crazy.
That's crazy stuff, man. I'm telling you, we've been here 6 rounds, man. 6 hours.
True. I bet if it was an enchanted Elsa, you'd know the difference.
You're right, and when you help somebody pull it, we'll see it. I'm sure. And
so we're at 12. I've actually never pulled that card. I've tried.
I did. It was one of my first pulls when I first started the game.
Amazing.
Man, oh man, and I wish I kept it. I'll tell you what.
I wish you kept it too.
I wish I kept it.
I wish you did too.
Oh my goodness. So we've got
protect the Genie.
Protect the Genie, 100%.
Protect the Genie. Yeah.
Yeah. That wish has been fulfilled. We finally said you are free. You are no longer a Genie, and yet we must protect it.
Look, yeah. So, you know, Jack did get some card advantages turn. His board's all upright, so nothing can be checked. He did not remove the Genies.
Correct.
You know, but again, that's not necessarily bad considering where the lore count is.
Yes, we're at a point now where Casey can get to 10 next turn, so that's not game ending. Casey can get to 10. Jack has a big.
And
He's got a hand, but we know specifically he's rocking that Spirit of Winter Elsa. That's going to freeze this board. But Casey needs to try to create a state where maybe it doesn't feel as good to play that Elsa. And we'll see if he can figure that out as we say go. Now, it is now Jack's turn. Jack is taking a look. But when you think about the play lines, we're seeing 3, 6, 7, 8.
There,
So there can
boom,
only
baby.
be one.
There it is.
The Spirit of Winter, baby,
She
comes down.
She and looping Spirit of Winter on the genies
Yes.
is probably the best thing you can do in this matchup
Yes.
because, you're just essentially like you're evasive. I don't care.
Yeah,
You're not
absolutely.
doing anything anyway.
Yeah, and at this point, we've got 14 on board, 17. So Jack has check on the board.
Yep. Jack has game. So, he honestly might have to force a B prep here if Casey has it. Gonna gain 1 card for Jack
Yeah.
and 1 card for Casey.
Yeah, no,
But-
interestingly, it's tough to see Casey's hand, so
There it
we're
is.
not sure. Oh, is it?
There it is.
Yep, there is.
Be
Yep.
prepared.
Yeah,
It
be
really-
prepared.
The only out.
That's
The
100%
only
it.
out. So, back to where we were. But Jack has the ink. He has the ink to just kind of explode this turn. Here we go. Genie
Yeah.
draw a card. And then, all those cards in hand. What does he want to do? 4 more. What is she? Goat. Gain a lore. All right, so we're at 15. Then we see another goat in hand.
Yeah. All right, there's
Sail,
sail,
yeah,
so
there's
we're digging for more,
Taking for a card.
potentially getting more ink.
Yeah, has an ink this turn, so let's see if he double inks.
Yes, Emerald. Lorcana Villain does sing it better than me. I'm not in theater. So Lorcana Villain, if you want, you're welcome to come down here, sing it for us.
Yeah, that's true. Lorcana Villain, come help us commentate one time.
Yeah, please do. I want to play.
Yeah.
No. We gotta let Lorcana Villain play.
That's true.
If he wants to
comes down here, he's
commentate,
gotta play.
I'll give him a choice. He can choose to either commentate or he can play. But either way, he's taking my spot if he's commentating because I want some of this action, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here, guy. I'm sitting here, chat, and I'm just like, man, I had the deck ready to go. I was ready for today.
Oh, tell me about it. I was telling them I got my uniform under my
Yeah, just rip it off.
Just rip it off like
Mine's the
Superman.
Same thing. I'm good to go. I just gotta have the SSG on.
Yeah. And so we've got a goat on board. The goat
Yep.
creates a weird spot where technically he's got 18. Just kidding. So he gets the 18. He plays it for the 19.
Plays another
and
goat.
because goat exists,
20.
it wins the game.
There you
Jack
go.
secures his undefeated streak. Casey does not get the box. You do not get to bless a box, Kylie. I am
not get to
sorry
bless a box.
that you will not be able to bless that box.
I almost feel like going out there and picking a couple packs for Casey, consolation prize because he did so good, and seeing if we could maybe get Casey and enchanted in like 3 packs. I think that's what we're gonna do, chat. I'm gonna bless the 3 packs. We'll see how I do.
Let's see how it goes. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna see if I can get over there, chat, before he picks up.
Yeah, feel free. You go that. Yeah, don't hold on, production. Don't wait a second. Don't.
Keep me there. Boy.
Yeah, hold on. Keep us on there. We want to throw a little surprise on there. Keep us on there. Just hang tight.